It is one of my favorite days of the year, December 21st. We'll tell you why, but we're also talking about the Great Normalization. TomTom is back and shopping soundtracks.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare when they see me. If instead of once, no need to repeat.
This is actually a really fun day for several reasons. The first that we need to make sure you know about, hear about, tell your friends about is that at 1 p.m. Eastern today, we will be premiering our year-end extravaganza, our third annual. If you don't know, go to LinkedIn, go to Asotu. Actually, the easiest way is go to our website, asotu.com. Scroll up just a little bit. You'll see it. Year-end extravaganza. We have a ton of guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we have guests from like PDI Tech to Jonathan Smoke. Right. Yes. And everything in between, which I think is just a great embodiment of what makes this industry truly great. And we're going to do predictions. We're going to do looking back, insights on what's going on right now. We're going to do a lot of fun. We have some really fun monologues, poke a little bit of fun, good-natured ribbing. We're going to give away a really special prize to a really special person. And you'll have to see what all that's about at 1 o'clock. So we hope you join us.
All what that's about. Yeah, it is. It's going to be a really fun time for it to be the third annual. Like it's kind of blowing my mind. Even still, I wrote a post about it on LinkedIn this morning, but like to do anything third annual that has been like created kind of by our hands and our team's hands, it's kind of cool. It's
3 years in a row. Doug Klassen is like, he knows
he's already on it.
He's like winter solstice, exclamation point.
Let's talk about that then.
Because I've been saying this, and when you live in upstate New York, right, the days get a little shorter than they do down south, faster. And also, it gets cold and it's kind of cloudy. And so winter solstice is actually the shortest day of the year, which means the days start getting longer again next year. And just, I know this, but how fast do they get? I actually looked up the little data. So here's some facts about winter solstice. Basically, if you're in New York, Northeast, Chicago, today, you're only getting 9 hours and 7 minutes of daylight. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. That is not a lot.
It's more than Alaska, but it's still not a lot.
It is. So basically by January, so the days are going to start getting 2 minutes longer a day, but it actually increases in velocity. So by February 21st, right? That's not too long by now. We're going to have almost 11 hours of daylight.
That's almost 2 extra hours.
It's a huge deal when it's 4 o'clock and it's dark versus 6 o'clock and it being dark. So I don't know. I like to find those little celebration moments. And that's mine for today. So the days are getting longer today. So I'm excited.
Little celebration moment.
Yeah. Doug and I can be excited about it.
You and Doug, double exclamation.
I don't know. We're going to have a thing. Like winter solstice is going to be a thing from now on.
Why not?
It's always been a thing for me. All right, so let's get into some news. We have a lot to do before the live stream today. So here's a good one. The first, I read this whole report yesterday, by the way. The first of a new quarterly report from a partnership between the buy-sell firm, the Presidio Group and NCM, which everybody knows, reviews the data of 4,400 franchise dealers, just a couple, and it's revealing some stark changes in dealership profitability, dubbed the Great Normalization. I thought that was a great little addition, because
I love that. I read that. I was like, that is exactly what it is. Just everybody getting normal again.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, we're trying to inject a little bit of like rational thinking into what could easily come across as handy penny, the sky is falling. So the data reveals a 19% drop in average dealership pre-tax profits through Q3 of 2023. So nothing to like ignore. Steep decline also in gross profit per new vehicle by 26%. Dealership profitability is returning to more traditional patterns following unusually high profits during the COVID-19 pandemic, notes the Presidio president, George Carolis. And this really reflects, and he goes on to say, I think it gives a really good barometer and different perspective to folks interested in following the industry. He's talking about this report, this collaboration between NCM Presidio Group. Reminds me of something Alan Haig said in his Q3 report, where he was just kind of painted the picture of profitability early, pre-COVID, 1.9 million to like the height, which was like 6.9 million. He's like, all right, let's get rational here. Things are still pretty sweet. NADA stopped releasing this type of data in 2021. So like, this is kind of like a breath of fresh air. We get to see this data again. And also notable in report, F&I income, this is a little different, is down 8.1% to
So not dramatic.
1587. But
Not
obviously,
dramatic,
not
but
too bad. But it doesn't have anything to do with inventory, right?
right. Well, yeah, but it has to do a lot with affordability and interest rates,
Right.
right? As interest rates climb, as affordability changes, monthly payments start to get a little bit more strict. You start to see people, potentially there's rate differences in wholesale and retail rates and what banks and dealers are charging. So the profitability there. I think the most stark thing is the 26% decrease in new car profitability. That's huge. That's a big number. And I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, if you don't know kind of the payment terms on a commission salesperson in auto, if the deal doesn't make money or loses money or makes less money than what a commissionable percentage would be, is called a quote unquote mini.
Yep.
And typically it's a flat, it's like $100 or $150 just to sell a vehicle. And I don't care if that vehicle is $20,000 or $80,000. If there's no profit in the deal, that salesperson gets paid a mini. And that is coming back in droves,
Yep.
especially to the manufacturers with a high day supply. And so this normalization, remember, this is the way that the majority of new car commissions, new car and new car profitability was pre-COVID. And so starting to understand how that works in pay plans, how that works in how these people have been compensated over the last couple of years, what the potential turnover is going to be, and even where the profitability lies in the dealership, which is typically finance, used cars, and service, instead of where new cars have had a high margin over the last couple of years. It's going to be a challenge for dealers to understand and to work through how their expense structure, marketing structure, payroll structure is balanced against the profitability structure.
All I can think about in the gross profitability drop, I wonder if we adjusted the number for market adjustments that were added. Like,
right?
I wonder what that number is. Like, if all of a sudden you take away all the
Just rip that out,
$20,000 market adjustments that were just added as gravy on top of the whole deal, and what that number would actually look like instead of 26%. Like, just straight. I'm talking straight market adjustments. People are just like, actually, the car's worth more because I have it.
I mean, probably not as dramatic, for sure. It wouldn't be as dramatic of a difference.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone could even, like, I guess somebody could have. I don't have no idea. But if we know it ain't us, so Presidio Group, NCM, I don't know.
Someone
if you
help
can help us out by figuring that out.
Someone help us out with
Presidio
that.
Group,
people, the profitability. Oh yeah, the difference between the profitability of a dealership now that didn't charge over MSRP versus a dealership that did charge over MSRP, and what that variance and drop is, because the ones potentially that have a less variance are going to be more structured and set up
to be more profitable moving forward. That's a good point. I don't know. That's above our pay grade. So, but you can get this Presidio report by going to the company's website or clicking the link in the show notes. That'll take you right there so you can sign up and get those. Oh, this is a good one. I don't have a segue for this, so we're just going to stop it. But GPS company TomTom, remember them? I remember them so much.
They still exist.
They do. Yeah. They're collaborating with Microsoft to introduce a sophisticated AI-powered conversational assistant in cars, enhancing voice interactions for navigation and vehicle control. So the assistant's built on OpenAI's model and also Microsoft's Azure Cosmos and cognitive services, and is supposed to have really great capabilities. The technology is going to be integrated into TomTom's digital cockpit and various automotive manufacturer interfaces. They haven't announced who it is, who they're partnering with, but the brands will maintain their brand identity, which means you're going to see the TomTom logo and iconography even inside the manufacturer's dash and infotainment system. So no specific partnerships have been disclosed. But, this is kind of following an attempt by Mercedes to integrate ChatGPT into their thing. And I think we're just seeing a lot of partnerships, a lot of collaborations. And man, when I heard the word TomTom, all I could think about is that little GPS unit.
Well, do you remember, like, back in the day, let's call it like late 2000s, the whole GPS thing was, do you have a TomTom?
I mean, I think that's more like early 2000s.
Maybe early 2000s, right? It was just, do you have a TomTom? There was no other brand identity.
That was it. Best Buy was slinging those things
and working to come back through autos in auto partnerships. Pretty cool. Microsoft, OpenAI are obviously trying to find partners that can leverage their technology and take it into more spaces, so that they're developing on this platform of large language models. I'm interested to see exactly what this like conversational assistant does or doesn't do. Like I can pretty much talk to Siri through my iPhone or Apple CarPlay and get most of what I need.
Unless you're in a GM.
Not in a GM. So I wonder who they're going to be talking to first.
I don't know. Oh, Cody in the live stream comments, I remember trying to win my parents a TomTom in an old movie theater arcade game back in the day. That's exactly what it was. But I guess they've really just shifted from a hardware company to a software company.
Yep.
And a data company, and maybe they'll come back as a hardware company. I don't know.
There's a lot of companies that did that. There were big companies in the late 90s, early 2000s.
And then all of a sudden an iPhone was like, you don't need the hardware. We have the hardware.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of bad day for segues.
Bad day for segues.
All right.
It's the holidays, Paul. Let's just
speaking of the holidays,
Segue.
So as we all know, the holiday season is just at its peak when it comes to shopping. If you haven't been out, don't go out because it's nuts out there. You've probably noticed also an increase in music being played in retail stores. It's not new, but there's a lot to learn about the strategic development of music and deployment in a shopping experience to influence purchasing behavior. Recently, a study was done that just showed, and this article on Retail Wire highlighted how some brands are leaning into connecting the shopping experience and the audio experience in retail. Specialists like Audio Socket and Jukeboxy emphasize the psychological impact of music on shopping behavior, suggesting that uplifting holiday music can encourage longer store visits and increased browsing. According to Magnus Ryden of Soundtrack Your Brand, creating a brand sound involves aligning music with the brand's identity, values, and customer demographics. So you only got a few days left to figure this out. But if you haven't kind of like tuned the music to your holiday experience, to what's going on in your showroom to kind of enhance the experience of the visit or enhance what exactly someone's feeling when they're in your store, it can have a massive impact. But it's not just during the holidays, it's all year round, aligning your brand with the audio experience in your store.
So, okay, there's like pros and cons to this. The cons are, I like how I don't know if it was in the show notes, talked about the impact it has on your own team.
Yep.
And I think that is a massive. I remember working at a Denny's when I was in my teens, and they had like the same 90-minute loop on.
Yes.
Constantly.
Just obliterated.
And it was disgusting for
by the time second
morale.
Shift came around, you were just, you wanted to take the speakers out of the wall.
But we've seen good and bad examples of this as we've gone through lots of dealerships, right? I think a real bad experience would be when you have some type of music playing that actually has ads in it, right? Yep. It doesn't feel right. It takes you out of the mode. But we've also had a lot of experience where the energy of what is being played contributes to the mood on the floor. And you can experiment with this. I mean, most dealerships have the ability to play music. We know because whenever we're shooting in one, we're like, can you shut the music off right while we're shooting? And being intentional here, like I think was it Beaver Toyota? They
even
actually
like time of day.
Well, right? That's what I was just gonna say. Like if you think of very intentional hospitality, hotels, restaurants, they actually curate a little bit of a music journey from like the beginning of the meal through the later in night, and the mood and the energy shifts. And so that is a very, like in the morning, you don't want to be playing a certain type of music. At the end of the day, you don't want to be playing a certain type of music. And being intentional about it, for those of you paying attention, might make a significant difference. Whatever you do, don't take a poll of your people which music you
don't do that. That's just gonna get sideways. Yep. Yeah. Let the brand people, let the marketing people, let the people that are thinking about experience all day think about exactly what music should be played on the showroom and the service drive. And maybe think about what do people want when they first walk in during the day, or what do people want when they're kind of closing out the night? What does a busy Saturday as opposed to a chill Monday morning look like?
Chill Mondays. That's new. We should just put together playlists for dealerships. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that.
Spotify playlist for dealers. I love it.
I think we might just do that. We'll consult our buddy Jonathan Smoke. Jonathan Smoke's gonna be on the Year-End Extravaganza. Make sure you go to asodu.com. Attend the LinkedIn event. We'll be in the comments. We can't wait to see you there.